It's with his juice. Juice. Mm.
Demolition time.
Who you on the other? Imagine in soda, some sort of a soda. It's soda. McDonald's. Breakfast in the morning. Mumbo.
Hi guys. Hi Rachel. Hi Bahati. Bahati, I hope this is in from now. I hope mnanisikia.
Please, yes, next year.
Okay. Hi everyone and good evening. It's 8, so I think we'll buy some time, around 5 minutes to get to quorum and then we get started. Otherwise, thank you for joining in good time. Good evening for those who have just joined. We are buying time to get to quorum, so in 2 minutes we'll get started. All right, it's exactly 8:05. Good evening once again. I hope you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. I can see the thumbs ups. Thank you and good evening once more. Thank you for joining our session. I think we'll just get started. The rest will find us kick started as we move on. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Grace Mutinda, and I handle community management at Zindua School. Timothy is raising his hand. Do you have a question?
Sorry, it was by mistake. Apologies.
Okay, that's okay. All right, so this webinar is organized by Zindua School. If you're coming across Zindua School for the very first time, Zindua School is a coding school that majors in data science and software engineering. We also offer specialization courses for people who have already started out in the tech space, like programs like DevOps, data engineering, short courses like product management, which has inspired this webinar. We have short courses like data storytelling, DSA. You can check all those programs out on our website. All in all, today our topic is how great products are built from ideas to execution or to impact. My name is Rachel. Nimeona Rachel akona mafans. I have seen people hype around the event in different spaces and love to see it. And it's an honor to have you on this call. I'm not going to introduce her. I'll just give her the honors to introduce herself. Yeah, because I don't want to sell her short. So I hope you can hear me, Rachel. Hi.
Oh, hi. Sorry. Just a moment.
It's okay. In the meantime, I hope you'll have those questions ready. If you have questions in regards to our topic for the day, I know I invited people who have
Hi, Grace. So yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
All right. You can introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, and anything else you deem fit for us.
Okay. So am I starting the session already, or am I taking over the session, or will I circle back to you?
So it's going to be a conversation. So I just want you to introduce yourself first, and then get us started with the question.
Oh, okay. All right. So my name is Rachel Murabula. I am an Android developer who transitioned from being an Android developer to being a technical product manager. I work at Spacia Tech, where I am running the Mastercraft program, which I definitely encourage you guys to apply. There's a product management track for that. So there I am the program manager. I am also a Women Tech Makers ambassador, where we definitely just mentor other women in tech and encourage them to continue getting into tech. Yeah, so thank you, Grace. It's an honor to be here.
All right. So we will get started with the questions for the day, and I want us to start it off with how great products are you? That is setting the foundation to this conversation. I think I have an echo.
Yeah, I think you do, because I'm also struggling to hear you a bit. So
Okay. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you better.
Okay. All right, so we're going to set the foundation for this topic, and by starting it off, I'd love you to expound to us or explain to us what exactly product management is, and why is it is it such a crucial role in today's tech landscape?
Okay. So product management is basically like a bridge. That's what I would like to say. Some people say that product managers are mini CEOs, but I just like to say that it's the connection between the executives, marketing, technology, customers. So putting all of these people in alignment, and building a product and improving the product to make it successful. Why it is important, especially in this tech. I don't know if have I answered the second part of the question. You said something.
Second bit of the question is why it is crucial in today's tech landscape.
Okay. So yeah, of course it is to save you from building a bad product, especially in today's day and age where AI is there. I think you guys saw what happened with when DeepSeek came into the picture. Um, my heart really went out to all the product managers that were in like ChatGPT and all the other places, because products are moving very quickly. So a product manager literally helps to make sure that you get a good product in the best time possible. And even when another product comes out, they have to be ready to make sure that they don't lose their users. Yeah.
Sure. I really get the importance of having a PM. So a question, because now we have different people here, even non-technical people who are not exactly in the tech space, but they're trying to understand, does someone need to have a tech background for them to be a product manager, or how technical, or is it necessarily a requirement for them to be technical for them to be a product manager?
Okay. So ideally, you don't really need to have a technical background. But it's just important for you to have a background of something. Because if you're coming from from a business analyst perspective or data analyst perspective, you would be a very good product manager, because with you make a lot of data driven decisions. If you're coming from an operations kind of side, it's so easy for you to work with other people, so it would really help you. But this is what I would say: we are in the 21st century, and in a very fast moving kind of life. I mean, I think you've seen the way April has just flown. So it's just important for you to know the basics of every department that you're working with. That's what I would say. So, for example, if you're in a company and the company deals with software, right, and you're working with devs, it's important for you to just know the basics of what a backend developer does, like APIs, how to test an API with Postman. That is so simple. So, even what a designer's doing, Figma files and all that. I mean, just understand the basics. That's the most important thing, because how will you work with somebody that or rather, how will you even understand somebody you have never, you don't really know what they do. So yeah.
Right, I'm getting that you need a background, and by this, it's all by optimizing the skills that you have from your previous job and integrating it into what you're getting into, and basically understanding the basics of whatever industry that you're in. So yeah, so whatever industry you're in, be open to learning,
Yeah.
because tech is a dynamic field. So, do you mind sharing with us how a typical day of a product manager look like?
um right, so ideally, a day as a product manager is, I would say, it has two sides to it. It can be very frustrating, and it can be very fun as well. So it just depends on how the day decided to turn out. But ideally, you will be in communication with a lot of users. You're going to have meetings with developers, trying to convince the key stakeholders who are like the CEOs and the shareholders, trying to convince them why we should not just add features very quickly. You will be checking on the progress of features and bugs. You will be writing a lot of documents. We have the a product requirements document, we have the functional requirements document, we have the product roadmap. You'll also be doing a lot of research, and I tend to say that a product manager needs to be like a girl who always has the tea, or like, you know, the way Boda guys on the like Boda guys always know what is going on in the place where they're living. So you need to know everything. And then also, you know, you'll also be trying to prioritize what needs to be built, what does not need to be built. You actually don't write code, but you just need to understand how that product is built and know it well.
Okay, so I'm getting that you will need to be that person who knows what's up, more of keeping up with the trends that are coming up, and also knowing how to prioritize what needs to take precedence, and
Yeah.
also being a people's person because you're mostly integrating different stakeholders. Right.
Yeah.
So now the question that is more in alignment to our topic is how do product managers move from an idea to an actual product, and what are the steps?
Okay, so when you start understanding the product management fundamentals, you will get to know something called a product manager's life cycle. This is what actually governs the process of ideation to getting an actual product. So you'll start at the conceive stage where you'll do a lot of research, try to understand the concept. You go into the planning stage where now you write the documentation, the product requirements document. You talk about the user stories, acceptance criteria for different features. And then you go into the development stage where, you know, there you're building the product. So you're dealing with developers, you're dealing with designers, you're dealing with anyone who is involved in building the product. And then now you go into the next phase, which is the testing phase. So here you're supposed to test the product. This is where usability testing comes in, to where you take a group of people who probably have maybe the same age group or same character or something, and you test the product to see, okay, how are they going to interact with it? And then after that, you launch. And after you've launched, now you evaluate how the users are actually interacting with it. And then this is the most interesting thing about the product management lifecycle, is that you go back. So from evaluation, there's an iteration. So you go back to the conceive stage because there are features that would need to be added. So now it's basically a whole cycle. I'll give an example, right? There's a Mastercraft feature that we've been building at Spacia Tech, and we wrote the product requirements document. We did research with user personas and stuff, and then we got to the development stage, and there was war. There was war between backend developers and front-end developers. Apparently, people are not understanding each other. So I think, let me just mention that during the development stage is where most of the war is. And if you want to get your product from ideation to actually getting a product, you need to know how to communicate. You need to understand your team like really well. So understand that this one likes things done in an analytical way. This one likes structure. I actually have a LinkedIn document on that as well. So yeah, that's what I would actually say about that specific thing.
Right, I hope we are all getting a picture of how a day in the life of a PM looks like. I've seen people do videos. I also tried doing one a video of how a day in the life of a community manager looks like. I think I'd encourage more people to do that so that people could get a glimpse of how that would look like. But I want us to talk about the journey of building products. So let's say I want to become a product manager. What are the skills do I need to be a successful PM?
Oh, to be a successful PM. Um, I think I've already mentioned quite a number of them, but let me just, say it again. So there are three things which are key for any successful product manager. And this is something that I've also analyzed with different product managers that I've worked with. First of all, it's empathy, right? As I said, it's very important for you to know who you're working with, right? And understand where they're coming from. If you're working with, like, if you're having conversation with executives, they're going to convince you that they want the feature to be done. Okay. So it is not for you to nullify them and say, no, we cannot build the feature because it just cannot be built. It's a difficult feature, or we can't build it within the duration that you want it to be built. It's for you to actually understand where they're coming from. So when you're having a conversation with them, it would be like, okay, fine, explain to me maybe your thought process behind it. Do you think, why do we need to do it this fast? What if we give it a few more days? What difference would it make based on also the data that you have? So you have to always make sure that you have a lot of data to back up the reasons that you have. And also in terms of the developers and designers and whoever you're working, even the user, you really need to understand where the user is coming from, understand the pain point of each and every person you're working with. The second thing about a successful product manager is you need to be data driven. I have already mentioned this. You need to have your facts here. So whatever industry that you're working in, you need to understand it in and out. It should never catch you by surprise. For example, if I was a product manager at ChatGPT, I should have already known that DeepSeek is about to launch. You understand? So, yeah, just always having that kind of tea. And yeah.
All right. In a previous question, you have stated how important it is for a PM to know what to prioritize or what needs to take precedence. So, in a situation where we have different competing ideas, how do you prioritize features?
Okay. So in terms of prioritization, there are quite a number, of things that you need to look at. You need to look at, is it a new product? You understand? So if it's a new product, what we want is to just get an MVP. So in product management, we usually have something called MOSCO, which is must have, should have, could have, and won't have, right? So in that case, you look at, I'll give an example of when we were building Mentalist. So when we were building Mentalist, initially when we didn't have a product manager, we just started building the UI. And then later on, we were like, oh my God, we've not done the integration. So now I decided, let me become a product manager. So that's when we realized that there's the aspect of the must have. What is the first thing that the a mentee wants to do when they interact with your app? They want to book a session. So that is the MVP. That's the must have. If you do not have this feature in your app, then your product does not make sense. So you need to look at what are the things that are you just have to have them there. So we started building the group session feature with the team, and now we're about to deploy on Play Store. So yeah, when it comes to prioritization, always think about the user. Always think about the user. Yeah.
Someone raised their hand. I'm not sure if it was an accident.
No, actually, she answered my question.
If they need to ask a question.
Sorry, I think I got that.
Oh, she answered. Okay. All right. Right. Yeah, I can see another hand. Wangeshi.
Good evening.
Evening.
I have no idea. I don't know whether anyone is experiencing this, but the sound is not that good. I don't know if everybody else is experiencing that. Also, I just joined in the conversation and I'm really liking it. I was wondering whether you could mention about resources that we can build on more knowledge, especially online, YouTube, or books that you've come across. Thank you.
Joshi, is it my sound that has an issue?
Yes. It sounds. I can't explain it. There's something. I don't know whether everybody else is experiencing that, but from my end, it's not
An
that good.
echo?
Sorry?
Is it an echo or a lag? Is it an echo or a lag?
Scrambling. Like there's something
Pardon?
scrambling noise. It's not an echo and it's not a lag.
Interesting.
Maybe it's on my end. I don't know. You should ask someone else if you don't mind.
Grace, I think you were breaking at a point. There was a point that you were actually breaking, but then you came back. Yeah, so maybe it was that part.
All right. I can see Bahati has raised his hand. Maybe it's about
Okay.
Hi, this is Eugene Bahati. Two questions, please. You mentioned that once you're about to launch a product, you test it, you launched it. Let's assume you've launched it, then it becomes a catastrophic failure. And in that instance, cash has been spent. How do you reconcile that? And lastly, if online, I've been noticing that product managers are perceived to be doing less work compared to other technical people. It's just a fancy role with a lot of cash. Does this assertion hold here to you, or might you hot air?
So I think I can just take over from Lilian, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So you asked about resources. Let me just say, online, there's so many resources. For me, I have used LinkedIn, and I also know Zindua School will be offering that the course, which is like, I feel like that would be a really easy way for you to just navigate and get to it. So there are a lot of product managers on LinkedIn. So what I would advise is look for guys like, there's a guy called Frank Anwama. I think I'd have to look for his name. He's on LinkedIn. He's very big on LinkedIn and offers a lot of advice, because personally, I actually learn more from people's blogs and their LinkedIn posts. And I also post a lot on LinkedIn. So that's how I have been learning a lot with product management. To Bahati, if you have launched a product and it's an absolute fail, yes, that's why the evaluation stage is there. And then there's also the aspect of iteration. So after you launch, assuming that the product was a failure, you go into evaluation just to understand, okay, so where did we go wrong? What needs to be changed? And then back to iteration. So you go back to the whole product management life cycle. Like, that's why I said it's always a cycle. Of course, a bad product means that the user experience was bad. It also means that your interaction with users was not really sufficient. So you really, that's why I keep saying, and I will keep saying, that product managers really need to have a lot of data about the users, the competitors, to make sure that you don't have a failing product. On to your last question. I understand product management has really come out to look like a fancy career path, where people really do nothing. And I felt that way especially when I was working on Mentalist, because I was like, okay, fine. So we did have a product manager, but it's like we didn't have a product manager, right? So after I started working as a product manager, I actually realized it has a lot of work. It really, really has a lot of work, because you will be in communication with executives. Like the product, the whole product is actually put on you. You are at the center of everything. If the product fails, they will blame the product manager. The product succeeds, then they will definitely just, glory. Everyone takes the glory. So I feel that in that case, it's just bad product management. And also it's been a new type of industry. So a lot of people don't really know what they're supposed to do as well. They actually don't know that they need to have knowledge in design, have at least like basic knowledge. So when a team gets a product manager, the product manager does not know what backend developers do, front-end developers do, designers do. So when a problem comes in, it's so hard to even solve it, because you're looking at everyone and you're just wondering, what is Figma? So I think the problem has been that a lot of product managers they've just been thrown in under the bus. Like they've just been given the role, like, oh, you are doing operations, try this product management thing. So there has been that gap. But with the recent product managers that I have seen or I have interacted with, those people work. In fact, product managers work more than anyone else in the team, because everyone is looking to you, including marketing, supply chain management, like everyone in the company. Yeah.
Okay, I hope that answers everyone's questions. For those who had questions, you can just let us know in the chat if you've been answered. So, Rachel, I'd love us to talk about user research. How important is it in product development, and how does it impact success?
Okay, thank you for that question. So user research is very important, because the success of your product is highly dependent on your users. I'll give an example of TikTok. TikTok actually started as it was actually Musically. So there's a company called what was it called? Sorry, let me just check it. Yeah. So there's a company called BeatDance, which is a Chinese company that bought Musically from the US. And already they had a company called TikTok, which was big in Asia. So TikTok was actually working in Asia, and Musically was working smoothly in the US. But now when BeatDance decided now to purchase Musically and just, upscale it, what happened to TikTok? TikTok boomed, like things changed. So basically, your user is your most important commodity. You must do your user research. You need to understand, what is my user pain point? Like what is it about Musically that made it not to be so big that when it interacted with TikTok, it just became something else, right? The specific features, there's something that the user is looking for, and it is up to you as a product manager to actually find it. So user research is very, very important. In fact, it's the most important thing about your product. If you want your product to succeed, talk to users, interact with the users who people who use your competitor's products. Yeah, understand what exactly is it about the competitors' products that they don't really enjoy, and look at that as a feature for you to build. Yeah.
All right. I think you've already handled transition into PM if someone needs a tech background. So let's talk about common myths, misconceptions that we have heard about product management. I think we have seen of controversial arguments on X, on different social media platforms in regards to PM.
Yeah.
What are some misconceptions that you have had or that have been going around?
Okay. So I think even what Bahati has talked about is now slowly becoming a myth and misconception, which I really because previously it was facts. Honestly, whatever he said has been facts because I have experienced it. So but now it is slowly becoming a myth and misconception. Also, it's the fact that product managers need to know how to code. It would be nice for you to know how to code, but you don't really need to know how to code. Like just understanding the basics of it is, yeah, it's the greatest thing. So I think, yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. I think on the coding bit, I think it has really spread because I've had people concerned whether they should join the program because they don't know how to code. I'm thinking of clarifying that.
Okay.
For someone transitioning from another field, what would you say is the best first step into product management?
All right. So actually, as someone who's transitioned, the first thing that I did is I looked for product managers who are already in the field, and actually found one product manager. He's called Charles. He works at Microsoft. Very nice guy. So one of the questions that I asked Charles is, if you were to go back in time and transition again, what would you do better? And Charles told me two things. He told me that he would understand the product management fundamentals. So understand what is a product requirements document, product management life cycle, understand communication styles, just the basics. So actually, learn and study product management in depth. And the second thing is that he would get a product manager mentor, right? So actually, those are some of the things that I have been living by because I have a mentor, and I usually just, make sure that, as I told you, I follow a lot of LinkedIn posts and a lot of articles on LinkedIn. So yeah, that's what personally I have been doing. It will make your transition so much easier. And I think I would add a third and fourth thing. The third thing is interact with people, because like being a product manager, that is like a key thing. So attend tech events in whatever field that you want to get into, right? Attend events, attend product management events, talk to product managers, go to LinkedIn, respond to the different people's posts, have conversation. You will actually come to realize, wow, there's a lot of information that I can get just by interacting with people. And I think the fourth thing that I would also say is, like, as you're getting the fundamental concepts, try to actually practice it. You could always join Mastercraft. I think I'll share the link, or QR code or whatever. You could always join Mastercraft. So like, as you're learning whatever you're learning, you're actually working. Because as I was in Mentalist, I was working and learning at the same time. So I learn, I implement, I learn, I implement. So yeah, that will give you a boost, like a really, really big boost. So yeah.
Okay, I am underlining understanding fundamentals of the basics and interacting with people. So there is a comment on the chat that great PMs are front-end engineers, right? E.g., I believe that's Shadam. Yeah. Or Shamit.
But great PM, no. Great PMs are not front-end engineers, no. Mm-mm. I think it's even harder to get a good PM from a developer. but it's not that it's not possible. I just said that it can be difficult because a lot of developers don't like the whole social life and interacting with other people. But if that's not really your character, it would be good for you. So as I said, a great PM is one who is empathetic, one who is data driven, and also one who knows how to prioritize features. Yes.
All right. I want us to talk about real world lessons and mistakes to avoid. So, what are some of the biggest mistakes first time product managers make?
Okay, so I think one of the biggest mistakes is wanting to learn everything all at once. You reach a point where you're like, you will get a burnout. So take yourself slowly. Take yourself slowly. It's a step by step kind of process. All right. So even as you'll be joining, Zindua school or whatever programs you intend on joining, make sure that whatever you learn it and learn it well, right? If we're talking about prioritization, know about Moscow, know about there's another framework called RISE, understand it and understand it well. Post about it, blog about it. Actually, now that I've said blog about it, another mistake is you not having a portfolio. I know that, of course, you're a beginner. You may not have like much to write, but you yourself, right, as a person, you can always start by introducing yourself through your portfolio. These days actually there's a lot of AI products that will help you to build the website, so you don't really need to be a front-end engineer or a back-end or Android engineer. One of them is XYZ, which I used personally. If you looked at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see that my profile is there. It was so easy to build that. Like, it's just copy and paste, upload and put it there and type your words. Yeah. So very important for you to build a portfolio, get a mentor, and also learn from others. Like, learning for a PM is till forever. You need to constantly communicate and learn from others. Yeah.
All right. Bahati has talked about a product not working as expected. So, how do PMs deal with failure, especially when a product does not work as expected?
All right. So dealing with failure. First of all, this is the thing. Failure is actually part of the success, because if you did not fail, you would not have known what needs to be changed. So I think the first thing actually for a PM is your mindset, right? If you're just going to look at the product and think, okay, so now it's failed, I think we should just close the business, then you have a very big problem. You have a very, very big problem, because if the PM decides that the product is failing, then the whole organization goes down. So I think mindset is the most important thing first. And then now we go into evaluation. It means that there's a gap. There's something about your customer that you did not understand. You need to spend more time with the users. What don't they like about it? Because ideally, the only reason why it has failed is because your users don't like it. They're complaining and you're not listening. So it's very important for you to listen to your user. Actually, the problem starts from the very beginning, in the conceive phase, when you're not listening to your users. It boils down to the development team. Like, you can actually see a failing product, because when it gets to the development team and developers are complaining that they don't understand what this product is supposed to do, then it means that there's a problem, right? So before you even get to that failing point, let me just say the prevention mechanism. Make sure you spend a lot of time with your users, understand them, have a prototype for them to just, interact with it and be like, I actually don't like it, and go back, because there's a lot of iteration when it comes to product management. You'll be going back and forth with your user, back and forth. So yeah, things like an MVP, just make sure you're not releasing a full blown product with everything. No. Do prototypes, do MVPs, which is like a minimal viable product. Release features slowly. You will see. Stop ignoring the red flags. You will see that the user is speaking, but you're just not listening. Yeah. So evaluation and then iterate. You change. Listen to the user, change. Yeah.
I think I've already gotten my take home for the day. Failure is part of success, and it all starts with your mindset and understanding your users and prioritizing them. So we have a question from Bahati. He says to negotiate PM contract, especially from the angle of unsolicited application, no advert. You can just see an organization could use a PM.
Okay, so let me just get from Bahati, right? Are you planning to approach them? Are you planning to approach the organization or?
So I'm in the organization already in different roles.
Mhm.
Using my previously acquired skill set, I think product management merges them all and is the right role for pushing forward
Okay.
the new product. It's in the health space.
Okay. All right. So I would like you to see your organization as a user. Sometimes somebody is sick. You can clearly see that they are sick, but then they don't see it. So for you to go and tell them, oh, by the way, you're sick, and note, human beings do not like correction. They do not like to be criticized. So even when you go and tell them you have a problem, they'll be like, no, I don't have a problem. I'm fine. I'm okay. So what exactly are you going to do for this user? You're going to create a situation that will make them see that indeed they are sick. For example, um, maybe they have a problem with their leg and their leg is really, really big, right? Put them in an environment of people whose legs are okay. And they'll be like, okay, it seems like I have a problem with my leg because my leg is not supposed to be this big. So in terms of an organization, I think you need to make sure that they need to see the problem themselves. That, okay, why exactly do we really need a product manager, right? So it's not that you tell them that, okay, this is wrong, or like we need a product manager, or these things are not working well. What I am thinking is try and throw in, like, put in seeds, like seeds of, oh, by the way, a product manager, if you had a product manager, they would be able to do this and this, right? Try and look for the most important person in the room. Try and look for the most important person in the room, the one who actually makes the decisions, to push it for you. So yeah, you just try your best to communicate, plant seeds of, guys, don't you see that we have a gap? If we had this type of person, might this thing have been better? Or what do you guys think? You see, and try and see, okay, does like, especially the most important person, the one who's actually going to make the decision of, we need a product manager. So understand where they are coming from. Try to also do your research, have data, look at competitors and say, our competitors have this role and we don't. So based on those facts, what do you guys think? Always when you're trying to convince someone, you need to make them feel like it's them that you care about, but in real sense, you're trying to get what you want. So yeah, I think that's one of the angles that I would go with, as I think about more angles. And if anyone else has an idea, yes, they can always chip in.
Right. We have another question from Mike. Bahati says comprehensive answer. Thank you. Mike says, as a product manager, which project tracking tools would you recommend to organizations in order to track project roadmaps, milestones, bug reports, among others, related to an ongoing project.
Okay. So in terms of the resources that you need to use, there's stuff like Linear, Jira, Trello that actually helps you to, put in there the bugs and features that are required. And then, sorry, what is the other part of the question?
Tracking project roadmaps, milestones, bug reports, among others.
Okay, yeah. So Jira, as I've already explained, and then for you to create a product roadmap, you can always use Canva. Canva has templates for that. There are a lot of softwares that you can use to create a product roadmap. But one of the most important things is to make sure that you have a product requirements document. That document is like, it's like what is giving it's like your reminder of what we are building, right? So yeah, Google Docs, let me say Google Docs as well.
All right. We have 9 minutes to go, guys. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat, or you can raise your hand if you need to unmute. So as people give their last questions, let me give you the last question, Rachel. In your experience, what separates a good PM from a great PM?
Wow. It's a very interesting comparison. Good and great. A good PM does the bare minimum. Let me just say that. They will have the product requirements document. They will they'll just go do everything by the books. Okay. So whatever they've learned in Zindua school is the only thing they're going to be implementing. A good PM will understand the sector that they're working on. So for example, if I'm in health, I'm going to stick to health and I'm not going to learn anything else. That's a good PM. Whatever they learned in wherever they have been, that's all they'll ever learn. A good PM is one who actually does a good job, but will not really teach others to a certain extent. Like, they just know what they're doing and they do it well, and that's where it ends for them. A great PM, however, I would say, is somebody who is continuously learning. So they go beyond. For them, it's not just my job or where I work. No. It's, I am a personal brand. Who can I impact? What have I learned today that I can share with someone? What can I learn today, tomorrow? This backend engineer has actually told me something about APIs, get requests, post requests. I really wonder what that is. Can I have a conversation with him tomorrow just about that? I mean, I know it's not in my field, but I would just like to know, what is it about? A great PM is in constant communication with the users, like before, during, after. I mean, a great PM is really involved. Like, for them, it's not just about documentation. It's not just about going to work and getting the money that they need to get. It's about owning the product. They literally have given their life to this product and treated it as if it was their own baby. Let me say that. The way a mother has, like, that tight relationship with a child, that to me is what a great PM is. Yeah.
Right. I think we should all strive to be great PMs rather than just be good and ordinary. Mike says thanks. Good question was answered. So Mugo has a question. Are there some of the tools you mentioned specific for tracking technical projects, or all can track both technical and non-technical?
Okay. Sorry, I don't know. Where is that question? Because I feel like, Grace, you're breaking. Let me just. Are there some some of the tools mentioned specific for tracking non-technical projects and products, or all can track? Yeah, they can track both technical and non-technical. They work both ways. So if you have a non-technical project, for example, if you're doing real estate and maybe you're building, yes, the foundation or something, and maybe you have, the product manager, you have the construction, something, the I've forgotten the name of that guy. But whatever team that you have that needs to be giving you reports and stuff, you can always put them there. And yeah, it's the learning curve is very small. So yeah.
All right. Bahati has given us a shout out. So I'm sure you sign up for our PM course that is coming. I shared the link. Awesome session. There. There's another question from Alan. He says,
Okay.
enjoying the discussion and the comprehensive answers. I have two questions.
Mhm.
Do you have experience building products for children? What pointers would you recommend for collecting meaningful feedback?
Okay.
And number two, do you have experience building gaming products? Is the product management process?
All right. Very interesting questions. Actually, I do have experience building products for children. I was in a company, I will not mention the name, where it was like a transport company for kids. So, yes, what I would say, the advice I would give in terms of, let me just read that again. What pointers would you recommend for collecting meaningful feedback? So, in that case, it was a very interesting experience because I got to learn that your user is the child. So for you to get feedback, you need to be fun. Like, you can't be boring. You see, you can have like games, hang out with these kids, play bouncing castle, and then just try to understand, the small things, like what do they like, what don't they like. Try to, for example, in terms of the school transport thing, try to be with them in the bus and just be a child, just remove the whole adulthood from your mind and be a child. Complain with them, tell them, trigger them, and be like, I don't like how the driver talks, or I don't like our journey, or I don't like the way something. And you'll see that kids will talk. If you have a very good relationship with children, they will tell you the deepest of secrets. So yeah, with kids, you just have to be a child. You just have to be fun because they're the users. And this is the most interesting thing about products for children, especially in this generation. Kids have a lot of power. So if you convince them to do something, they will go and tell their parents, this is what we want. Every child in school is doing it. So you have to do it for me. So if you can convince the child, you've gotten to the parent. Yeah. In terms of gaming products, it's probably so in terms of gaming products, I would say that a betting company, that's what, they also like have a lot of games, this aviator and stuff like that. So we're working with a friend of mine, but this was just for a short time, on a product called JetBet. Yes, I think that was the name of the product. So in that sense, the process is not different. Everything is just the same. I mean, the constant is the product. You need to look at the user. The only difference in that case is the development process, which the development can be very difficult. Let me just say so. And also, security could be a really big issue, especially now, specifically for the betting companies, because the users there want to steal your money sometimes. So, yeah, in terms of games, the product process is still the same. But when it comes to development stage is where you may have an issue. I think I'll also, having answered that question, I'll also just share a blog that I wrote in reference to this talk as well, Grace. if that's okay.
That's okay.
So that people can get more details on everything that we've talked about.
Sure. Alan, I hope that answers your question. All right, there's the link. I think I'll also share that with the attendees as well. So you can give us a button shot before we call it a night.
All right. Yeah, so I think what I would say at the end of the day is if you want to get into product management, make sure that you actually want to get into product management. Ask yourself, are you willing to have interactions with users? Are you willing to interact with a lot of people and bring solutions? Are you willing to put yourself on the spot? Like when the product fails, everybody is looking at the product manager, right? And also think about how good of a product manager do you want to be? I usually tell myself that I want to be the best technical product manager. Like, I want that when developers are interacting with me, they just feel like, oh, a sigh of relief. Finally, we can talk to somebody who gets us, And I think I have experienced that as we build our latest feature in Tech, which is the Mastercraft feature, where developers actually appreciate that finally somebody gets to understand them. So that for me is my goal. I really want to make that, work out for them. So for you, you need to think about what your goal is. Do you want to make sure that the user is happy, that users in this specific field have been struggling, and I want to make sure they experience the best? Or do you want to create opportunities for people? I think one of the problems that we have as a nation is that people are constantly looking for jobs and don't want to create opportunities. So are we all going to look for jobs? Yeah, so because what I know is some of the best product managers, some people like Lemuel, have ended up becoming CEOs and founders. So also think about whether you want to have a startup, create opportunities for people, because ideally you're a CEO, you influence without authority. So yeah, I would say as a person, also remember that your product, you are your own product. Like, you are the product, you are the brand, right? So when you build yourself, you're building everything. Like, everything becomes better. So make sure that you work on yourself. Also look at your health, because being a PM can take a toll on you mentally, considering sometimes it feels like being a therapist. Yeah. So make sure you take care of your health, your mental health, your physical health. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Constantly learn and improve yourself, and don't have a small mind. And I think, even as I said earlier, failure is just part of the success. People will be pointing fingers at you. You will make so many mistakes, but always remember, it's good that you made the mistake, because tomorrow you're not going to make it, so you're going to be better. Yeah. And also to Grace, thank you so much. And thank you to Zindua School. I hope you guys are going to be applying for the program. It's going to be fire. Yeah, I have been at Zindua School. I did the DSA, and actually, because of doing that DSA, I got an interview for some tech role. So yeah, make sure you take whatever you're doing, take it very seriously. You never really know when it's going to open a door for you. All right, that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the endorsement, Rachel. Do you mind sharing with us about Tech?
Yeah, sure. So Tech, we are a tech community. I love to say that we are the largest tech community in Africa. We are closely fighting with Google developer group. But yeah, we're a big deal. Anyway, so at Spacia Tech we usually have very, very many different programs. And one of our latest programs, also we have collabs, which is already running. And right now we have Mastercraft. Actually, we have the Liftoff, which is happening next week. And then we have Mastercraft, which is starting on the 30th. You'll actually see it in the blog as well. The Liftoff has already started, so there's no registration for that. But we could consider, maybe you can send your email and say that you are from Zindua, because it's actually a class. It's not a class. It's not a school. Let me also say that. It's not a training ground. It's just a place for people to come and network and meet mentors and learn about personal branding, revamping your resume. So as you start your journey at Zindua, the Liftoff could really help. And then also there's Mastercraft. Mastercraft is also not a school. It is not it's not a course, but it is a place where you implement what you learn at Zindua school. So yeah, when you come to Mastercraft, basically you're going to be working in a cross-functional team, work with back-end engineers, front-end engineers, data and analytics guys, Android engineers, and you will be a PM actually working on a real world product. So I would really advise that, join Mastercraft and learn as you work, because time is of essence. Speed. I also believe in speed. So moving with speed. But we're here for impact. If you guys need, to talk, if you need mentors, if you need people to help you with things, always reach out. Don't be quiet. And make sure your mindset, you should always remember the best. So follow us at Spacia Tech on all our social media platforms. You will definitely see my face: TikTok, Instagram, X, LinkedIn. We have a WhatsApp channel, all of them called Spacia Tech. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Rachel, for honoring our invite and for sharing your knowledge in this platform. And thank you to everyone for choosing to join us for today's webinar. Be sure to follow Spacia Tech on all socials and also Zindua School, and be sure to sign up for our PM course. That's all for tonight. Have a good night, everyone, and thank you for tuning in.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.